His Majesty was assassinated in the Wu Long Starfield, it's all because of their poor management. Dylan raged, it's already lucky that he survived and there's still trouble? What trouble? Dylan. Long K Emperor frowned. Don't blame me Long Quebec. Dylan bowed and straightened, emphasizing, it's just that the ancestor arranged for me to protect him. I trust the safety of the Starfield, hence I didn't follow him. However, I've only left him for a short period of time and he was assassinated. The ancestor has entrusted me with many tasks, yet I failed. Long K Emperor shook his head. I'm from the Virtual Universe Company too, of course I'll be on Luo Feng's side. However, this matter will be decided by the 5 people in charge. Our Wu Long Starfield's affairs have been planned out in detail. Any trades, small disturbances etc., will all be handled by the 5 people in charge. Only when we really encounter some big matters will we trouble the high and mighty universe venerables. Luo Feng and Dylan nodded. I'm on your side, however the other 4 people in charge are from the other 4 powers, they might not necessarily be on your side. Even though the 5 powers work together, they still compete in the dark. Long K Emperor said, wait a moment, the 4 people in charge will be here soon. Right, amongst the 4 that are about to arrive, the one you have to treat the most with respect is Candle Emperor. Candle Emperor? Luo Feng was stunned. Candle King is from the Great Axe Coliseum. Plus, he has an amazing background. Therefore, in the management of the Wu Long Star area, Candle King has always been the most domineering one among the 5 leaders. The other 4 of us have to avoid him. King Long Zhu said in a low voice, so, don't annoy him or it will be troublesome. Luo Feng nodded, remembering this name. Candle Emperor? Luo Feng and the other 2 chatted in space. 10,000 kilometers away, ripples formed and universe ships appeared one after another. Before even half a minute had passed, the 4 ships had already appeared, waiting for the other ships to arrive, only then did they collectively open their cabin doors. Wah! The cabin doors opened and large amounts of silhouettes flew out from the 4 ships. There were a total of 100 people, most of them were undyings. Wu Long Starfield storage region indeed forbade undyings from entering, but under special circumstances they could. What happened? Look at this, so messy. The 4 people in charge led a large group of people and flew over. At the very front was a beautiful man wearing a gorgeous white robe. This was a man so beautiful that it could move one's soul. Not only would women be unable to help but be infatuated with him, even men would be moved when they saw him. Clearly his beauty had transcended gender. He had long, flowing silver hair and sparkling and translucent skin, which was even comparable to the bug tribe Queen Mother Irina. Her facial features were perfect. There was also a faint mysterious pattern on his forehead, which added an ancient and eternal aura to it, causing people to involuntarily have a good impression of him. With such a peerlessly handsome man standing there, the other 3 people in charge seemed to have become mere foils. Follow me. Emperor Long Zhu instructed Luo Feng and Dylan. The 3 of them charged forward. The large group led by the 4 people in charge also stopped in the starry sky. The group of people gathered together in the silent starry sky. Luo Feng, let me introduce you. Emperor Long Zhu smiled, pointing to a tall skinny man with curly hair and green skin beside him. This is the universe first Banks de Tuar Emperor. De Tuar Emperor. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. Luo Feng, this time it was our Wu Long Starfield's internal management that failed, please forgive us. De Tuar Emperor smiled and said. Emperor Long Zhu laughed loudly, luckily Luo Feng is fine. Luo Feng, this is Wu Yu Emperor from the Universe Galaxy Bank. This was a human-shaped being with 4 arms and 4 eyes. That formless energy was extremely cold towards Luo Feng, this Wu Yu Emperor only nodded. This is Hidden Spear Emperor from the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Emperor Long Zhu said. Luo Feng looked over, Hidden Spear Emperor looked very similar to an Earth human, only his body hair was more luxuriant, his eyes were like blades, smiling and nodding at Luo Feng. As for this one, he's also a legendary absolute genius. Back when he broke through to Undying he already had the pinnacle of official level strength. He is Wu Yu Emperor. Emperor Long Zhu's voice was a little higher. Obviously he was much more passionate towards this Wu Yu Emperor. Wu Yu Emperor. Luo Feng bowed respectfully. My god. There was actually such a beautiful man, he could be said to be the most beautiful man or woman Luo Feng had ever seen. Even Fantasy Spirit Emperor and other bewitching beings, along with the Bug Clan Queen, those naturally beautiful beings, couldn't compare to this man before him. The mysterious engravings on his forehead emanated an ancient eternal energy, it made people want to get close to him. Wu Yu Emperor extended his white jade-like fingers, gently rubbing his chin, examining Luo Feng. Luo Feng, True Yen Emperor's disciple? I've heard of it before. Luo Feng listened respectfully. This time's matter, no one knows the exact details. Wu Yu Emperor's voice was gentle, it was like a spring breeze. Before, when the knight submitted the information to the Wu Long Starfield's AI, I've just seen it, I can only confirm, the explosion was caused by the fire undying god energy. However, what was the truth? Wu Yu Emperor shook his head, those 3 internal members are all dead. Luo Feng's heart skipped a beat. Wu Yu Emperor. Emperor Long Zhu laughed loudly, this matter is very simple, Luo Feng is an absolute genius of our virtual universe company, he's definitely in the top 10 of the alien race assassins. This assassination attempt? If Luo Feng survives, I can answer to the upper echelons of the virtual universe company. Wu Yu Emperor looked at Long Zhu Emperor. Long Zhu Emperor, we don't have to answer to the virtual universe company, we have to answer to the 5 great powers. this matter, the 3 internal members are all dead. Wu Yu Emperor's eyes gleamed coldly, pointing at Luo Feng. This Luo Feng said there were internal members who wanted to assassinate him, however the other 3 are all dead, there's no way to prove anything. It's all up to him to make up stories. He said someone wanted to assassinate him. However, maybe this Luo Feng planned it from the start, instantly killing the 3 internal members and taking away large amounts of Sector Lord Bug corpses. Wu Yu Emperor laughed coldly, a huge fortune worth over 10 million mixed elements, it's enough for a domain lord punk to take the risk, and with his absolute genius status as a protective talisman, naturally he thought it would be foolproof. Luo Feng's expression changed greatly. Wu Yu Emperor. Luo Feng spoke. Shut up, I'm talking to Long Zhu Emperor, if I don't give you permission to speak, don't speak. Wu Yu Emperor frowned, seemingly looking at Luo Feng with disgust. Luo Feng stood aside even though he was raging within, he remained calm and didn't say a word. Wu Yu Emperor. Long Zhu frowned, there's no need for this. There's a need. Candle Emperor said solemnly, this matter is very serious. Firstly, it caused my Wu Long Starfield to lose over 10 million mixed elements. Secondly, this might be an assassination as well. The final explosion is comparable to a normal flame undying's explosion. No matter what, we have to investigate seriously. It doesn't matter if our Wu Long Starfield has a spy, or if this Luo Feng intentionally set this up. We have to get to the bottom of this. Wu Yu Emperor looked at the other people in charge. What does everyone say? Decoy Emperor, Wu Yu Emperor and Hidden Spear Emperor exchanged glances. Wu Yu Emperor is right, this matter is very serious, we have to investigate seriously. Decoy Emperor nodded. Wu Yu Emperor nodded. We can't let Luo Feng be wronged. Hidden Spear Emperor said indifferently. Of course. Wu Yu Emperor nodded, after which he looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, I'll ask you a question now. Yes. Luo Feng replied respectfully. Beside, Long Zhu Emperor frowned and revealed an anxious expression, simultaneously communicating to Luo Feng. Luo Feng, don't anger this Wu Yu Emperor, lower your head and bear with it. The other Dylan also communicated anxiously to Luo Feng. Your Majesty, I'll inform the ancestor about this through the virtual universe. If he acts, this small matter will definitely be resolved. Listening to Dylan and Long Zhu Emperor's messages, Luo Feng was even more assured. Let me ask you. Wu Yu Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Was what you said to the universe night before true? Yes. Luo Feng said. Do you dare release your soul protection and not resist, allowing me to search your soul and see the truth? Don't worry, I definitely won't harm your soul. Wu Yu Emperor continued. No way. Luo Feng frowned respectfully. To search the soul, one has to completely release the soul protection, allowing others to search deep within. If one isn't careful, one's memories will be destroyed. If it's light, they'll lose their memories. If it's heavy, they'll become an idiot or even die from soul collapse. You don't believe in my ability? Wu Yu Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng replied respectfully, it's not that I don't believe but I don't dare to gamble. I, Luo Feng, don't like to place my fate in the hands of others. Even if Luo Feng didn't have any secrets, he wouldn't dare to do such a thing. If this Wu Yu Emperor had ill intentions, intentionally causing Luo Feng to become an idiot. When that happens, Wu Yu Emperor could just say he was careless. Even if he received some punishment, Luo Feng would become an idiot. What's more, Luo Feng had many secrets within, how could he allow others to search his soul? Wu Yu Emperor, everyone has their own secrets, how can we allow others to search them so easily? What's more, Luo Feng is a genius of the Virtual Universe Company, how can we allow such a dangerous thing to happen? Long Zhu frowned. If it was those normal internal members, it was fine. However, these geniuses were all true treasures of humanity, they couldn't be messed with. All right. Wu Yu Emperor nodded coldly, since you don't dare accept the soul search, then let me ask you, before you told the Universe Knight, you made your soul slave use the Fire God Crystal to detonate it and kill that flame undying. Then let me ask you, this Fire God Crystal, where did you buy it from? Universe First Bank and Universe Galaxy Bank, do you have proof of your deductions? There's no proof. Luo Feng shook his head. You can't even produce proof. Wu Yu Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Your words are completely made up, there's no proof, how can the 5 of us believe you? Luo Feng frowned. Wu Yu Emperor, some treasures don't have to be bought. For example. Luo Feng flipped his hand and the E9 grade laser gun appeared in it. Can you find out where I bought this E9 grade laser gun? Luo Feng looked at Wu Yu Emperor. Can you find proof of my deductions? No, I too don't have any proof, Wu Yu Emperor, you won't be able to find out where I bought it, however I do have this E9 grade laser gun. Luo Feng flipped his hand again and a purple 100 net leaf appeared. Wu Yu Emperor, do you have any proof of me buying it or proof of deductions? The price of the purple 100 net leaf was about 2 million mixed elements. The Fire God Crystal, low level, was about 1 million to 1.5 million mixed elements. The E9 grade laser gun, 0.1 seconds of charging, top quality, was about 500,000 to 1 million mixed elements. I don't even have a shred of proof. However, I do have the purple 100 net leaf and the E9 grade laser gun. Luo Feng looked at Wu Yu Emperor. Similarly, I too have the Fire God Crystal. Candle Emperor looked at the purple 100 net leaf and the E9 laser gun in Luo Feng's hands. He couldn't help but frown. With his position, he naturally wouldn't be tempted. However, he was still shocked at the wealth and power this domain lord level 9 punk had. Spending money to buy was one power, getting it without spending money was another. You sure know how to argue. Candle Emperor laughed lightly. I won't make things difficult for you regarding the fire god origin crystal. Let me ask you again, just who is the sector lord you control, what's his name, which universe, country and starfield he's from? Luo Feng was shocked within. Trouble. This was a loophole. Back then I bought large amounts of universe-level slaves, one of them was called Tai Wu. Luo Feng's consciousness reaction speed was indeed comparable to an AI's. He instantly deduced that he was a universe-level or a domain lord. Any slave he subdued would be easily found out. He had exceptional talent. Candle Emperor, you should know that back then I was only a star level 9, I couldn't forcefully subdue a universe level as a slave. Universe-level slaves however wouldn't resist at all, hence. Luo Feng had indeed bought many universe-level slaves. And many had died in the many incidents. For example, due to the Bug Clan Mother Nest's poison gas, many universe-level slaves had died. Anyway, the incidents that happened on Earth a long time ago, even the most powerful beings wouldn't be able to find out. This Tai Wu as a slave didn't have any resources, and his training methods were crude too, yet he was still able to reach universe level 9. After which, I taught him a secret technique, and during his time in the Virtual Universe Company, I've continuously provided the most exceptional slaves with resources. Luo Feng smiled. Tai Wu almost directly reached the Domain Lord level. As my sole slave, I didn't want to waste his time. I immediately let him go from Domain Lord level 1 to level 9. After which, his luck was extremely good, and he actually swiftly stepped into the Sector Lord level. Of course I nurtured him and even brought him along with me. After all, there are many things for a sole slave to do. Candle Emperor frowned when he heard this. Before asking, he had naturally found out much about Luo Feng. However, back then, before Luo Feng rose through the genius battles, he was still a normal Earth leader. Along with Earth being in the Void region, he indeed didn't have any information. And the lower-level slave trades were even more chaotic. Ah. Candle Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Back then you already knew how to control souls? Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. What secret method? Candle Emperor continued to ask. He had to find a flaw. Soul control techniques were rare before Luo Feng joined the Virtual Universe Company. What techniques did he have? Soul imprint, answered Luo Feng. What kind of secret method is this? There's such a secret method? Dark Candle King raised his eyebrows. Beside him, Long Zhu laughed. Dark Candle Emperor, the information you received should have mentioned that Luo Feng's ship is the Yun Mo planet ship, right? It's the ship of the famous Yun Mo planet master Hu Yen Bo. Even though there were many undyings in the human domain, he could easily remember any name. The gods had extremely good memories. Of course Luo Feng received Hu Yen Bo's inheritance. King Long Zhu smiled. As for Hu Yen Bo, many people know that he was one of the 9 great undying slaves back then. His servant, Marquis Iron Sword, had even attracted the envy of many people. The method Hu Yen Bo used to control the 9 immortal slaves was the Soul Seal. Candle Emperor creased his eyebrows. You said you summoned 10 Sector Lord Guards back then, one of them was your soul slave, the other 9's names, identities and detailed backgrounds, tell me one by one. Candle Emperor said. Candle Emperor, what exactly do you want to ask? Luo Feng frowned. I asked you a question, didn't you hear it? You just have to answer. Candle Emperor's eyes gleamed coldly. Luo Feng bowed respectfully, reporting to Candle Emperor, the other 9 Sector Lord Guards were gifted to me after I was invited to the Golden Horn race. They said they would protect me from the shadows. Golden Horn race? Candle Emperor was immediately enraged. The Golden Horn race was independent from the human race. Even though they were vassals, the internal management of the Golden Horn race, the human race wouldn't interfere with them. Hence, there was no way to investigate anything that happened in the Golden Horn race's Lasheo world. Everyone listen. Candle Emperor turned fiercely to look at the 100 underlings behind him. The 100 white-robed and purple-robed men bowed respectfully and waited for the order. Carefully investigate the traces of the battle, find out all the clues and find out the truth. Candle Emperor ordered. Yes. The white-robed and purple-robed men immediately dispersed in all directions and began to carefully investigate the surroundings. I won't ask you for now, let's wait and see the results of the battle. Candle Emperor glanced at Luo Feng and didn't say anything else. Luo Feng didn't make a sound. Luo Feng glanced at Long K Emperor and communicated, Long K Emperor, does this Candle Emperor have a grudge against me? Why is he targeting me like this? He is indeed targeting you, as for the reason I don't know. I know his personality and he may find trouble with you, but to be so focused on targeting you, that's a bit too much. Long K communicated, right, have you told your teacher True Yen Emperor about this? Dylan just told my teacher, in a while I'll enter the virtual universe to meet him. Luo Feng replied. After which, Luo Feng turned to look at the distant space. 10,000 kilometers of space, the white-robed and purple-robed men were all flashing about like lightning, carefully investigating. Luo Feng, Dylan and the 5 managers all watched silently. Put out a fire god weapon shard, treat it as if you've discovered something suspicious. Candle Emperor immediately communicated to a purple-robed undying who was searching in the distance. That was a fire god undying. When he heard the order he replied, yes lord. After a while, the 100 white-robed and purple-robed men all flew over, each holding some items in their hands. Lord. The white-robed and purple-robed men bowed respectfully. The surroundings should be filled with Sector Lord bug corpses, these aren't bug corpses. Candle Emperor pointed at the various items. Look at these items. Oh, this weapon shard is filled with fire laws. It's obviously a fire undying's weapon shard. Don't tell me this isn't a fire god crystal explosion, but a fire undying's attack? And these items, Luo Feng, how do you explain them? These items aren't Sector Lord Bug corpses, they're obviously outsiders. Where did they come from? Luo Feng frowned, replying respectfully, reporting to Candle Emperor, there are many Sector Lords that died. The moment they die, the internal world collapses. Of course large amounts of items will fly out. How would I know where these items came from? Candle Emperor laughed coldly. You've pushed all the blame away. According to what you said, any valuable evidence can be said to be from the internal world collapsing of a Sector Lord's death? From start to finish, I can only see you quibbling. Everything you said can't be verified. Men, bring this Luo Feng to the first Starfield prison. Candle Emperor ordered. Once he reaches the first Starfield prison, he'll confess everything. King Long Ke, King Dali and King Long Ke were all shocked. First Starfield prison? The universe human domain's strictest prisons were the legendary upper 9 prisons and lower 9 prisons, and the upper 9 prisons were the 1st to 9th Starfield prisons. Normal Undyings knew about them. And the lower 9 prisons were the 10th to 18th Starfield prisons. Many Undyings didn't know about them. The 18th Starfield prison was also the legendary 18 levels of hell. The further one went, the more terrifying it got. Even Emperor-level Undyings, the moment they were thrown into the 18th Starfield prison, they probably wouldn't survive. Even though the first Starfield prison's danger level was the lowest, that was only in comparison. At least to Luo Feng it was already terrifying. Candle Emperor. Luo Feng raged. Shut up, there's no place for you to speak. Candle Emperor said coldly. I came to your Wu Long Starfield to buy goods and was ambushed. Even when you arranged for people to save me, it was so slow. If I didn't have a backup plan, I would have died long ago. Luo Feng didn't care about Candle Emperor's scolding. He raged. I haven't even asked why your Wu Long Starfield didn't have enough protection. You actually keep asking me. I've been dealing with your questions, yet you keep finding fault with me. You really think my virtual universe company's people are easy to bully? Luo Feng said coldly. I'll immediately report this to my teacher Tru Yen Emperor, and report this to the host of the Genius Battle, Nine-Blade Knight, as well as to the Tian Shi Palace Leader who has helped me a lot. I want to see when your Battle Axe Coliseum's people will dare to deal with my virtual universe company Primal Region members like that. Candle Emperor's face immediately flushed red. The others were shocked when they heard this. Nine-Blade Knight? Tian Shi Palace Leader? These Emperor-level Undyings to be able to be in charge of the Wu Long Starfield, all had huge backgrounds. They weren't too afraid of Tru Yen Emperor. However, Nine-Blade Knight was different, and the Tian Shi Palace Leader Luo Feng mentioned was even more of a legendary being, even more terrifying than Nine-Blade Knight. Tian Shi Palace Leader? Candle Emperor was shocked within. Even his backer wouldn't want to mess with that monster. The Tian Shi Palace Leader was an absolute being that alone could dominate the entire Blood River world, much stronger than many universe country leaders. Blood River world was after all the place that caused the virtual universe company to suffer heavy losses back then. One could only imagine how strong it was. Even though it wasn't as strong as the ancient times, it was still extremely strong. The Tian Shi Palace Leader was able to suppress Blood River world. His strength had long become a legend. No matter, this Luo Feng's suspicions haven't been cleared. How can we let him leave? Candle Emperor ordered. Men, lock Luo Feng up in the Rain Palace and guard him closely. Yes. The purple-robed Undyings flew over. Long Ke and the others didn't say anything else. This imprisonment was just a house arrest. It wasn't a serious problem. Candle Emperor. Luo Feng stared at him. The Battle Axe Coliseum's people are indeed filled with killing intent. Your management of the Wu Long Starfield isn't good enough, causing me to be assassinated, and now you still treat me like this. I will definitely report this to the upper echelons of the Virtual Universe Company, to the Nine-Blade Knight and Tian Shi Palace Leader. Hearing the name Tian Shi Palace Leader, Candle Emperor's eyes couldn't help but twitch. Bring him away, lock him up. Candle Emperor ordered. So, Luo Feng was escorted by 2 Undyings, after which he sat in a purple Standard Universe ship and was escorted to one of the palaces in the Wu Long Starfield. Within one of the smaller palaces, Luo Feng was locked up. As for Dylan, against Candle Emperor and the others, he had no way to resist at all. The Rain Palace was originally a palace for people to cultivate, but it gradually became a place to imprison people. The entire Rain Palace was about 100 meters high, and it was also a few hundred meters long and wide. The palace was empty and there was nothing else in it. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged within the palace. Your Majesty, I'll be outside. Dylan's undying energy passed through the palace and communicated, this matter that Luo Zhu Emperor went overboard, he's purely looking for trouble. Their own internal problems still came to find trouble with you. Your Majesty, don't worry, this matter will be resolved quickly. No problem. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged and smiled, it's just a small setback, it's nothing. Suddenly Luo Feng looked down at the screen on his arm, he received a call. HM? Teacher? Luo Feng's consciousness connected to the virtual universe. Virtual Universe Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. The golden armored ape-man Tru Yen sat within the hall. Luo Feng appeared with a so and flew into the first-level hall, bowing respectfully, your disciple greets teacher. Sit. Tru Yen smiled as he glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng sat down. I already know about your matter, I've just checked the records from the Wu Long Starfield. Tru Yen looked at Luo Feng. What you and the Universe Knight said, is it true? That Kazel really tried to assassinate you, and there were indeed fire undyings who came to assassinate you? Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. As for what I said to the Universe Knight, it's mostly true. I didn't want to speak about the small matters. It was indeed mostly true. Luo Feng's fabricated words, defending against Kazel, wasn't because of the 10 sector lords, but because of his own soul pagoda defense. Killing the fire undyings also wasn't because of the fire god crystals, but the golden horned beast. Anyway, it was mostly true. If it involved important secrets, he had to cover up his lies. Tru Yen nodded and didn't pursue. As an ancient being that had existed for trillions of years, he was very clear that the absolute geniuses that could stand at the pinnacle of the vast universe all had their own special encounters. He was also clear that this disciple of his definitely had some special encounters. The demon note inheritance was one of them. Before he received it, he had guessed that Luo Feng had other encounters. However, everyone had secrets. It was impossible for Tru Yen to understand everything about his disciple. He only needed to confirm that this was his disciple, and that his disciple's actions did not cross the bottom line of his teacher. As such, he wouldn't care about anything else. Since you've confirmed that this was an assassination attempt on you, then there's no problem with this. Tru Yan's smile had a sense of pride within. No matter what, you're still a genius of my virtual universe company. No matter how tyrannical that nightmare candle is, he doesn't have the right to decide the fate of a member of my virtual universe company. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Tell me in detail the conversation between you and Nailan Zhu, Tru Yen said. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng immediately recounted the entire conversation from before. When Tru Yen heard this, he laughed. Haha, you sure know how to pull a big flag. Pulling the flag of the Nine-Blade Knight is fine. After all, when you become an Undying, you will be under him. You actually dared to raise the banner of Tian Shi Palace Master. Haha, hearing the name of Tian Shi Palace Master, that Nailan Zhu must have panicked. Tian Shi Palace Leader is that powerful? Luo Feng asked softly. Even stronger than the Nine-Blade Knight? The Tian Shi Palace Leader has been in Tian Shi Palace for 1 trillion years, terrorizing Blood River World. Tru Yan's eyes too had a sense of respect. That's much stronger than the universe country leaders and knights. He's the true upper echelon of the virtual universe company. Back then, for him to guide you, it was indeed your luck. Luo Feng was shocked within. Even his teacher said that the position of the leader was indeed incredible. Right, teacher, why did that Nightmare Candle Emperor target me? Luo Feng asked curiously. I've never seen him before. The main reason is because of me. Tru Yan's eyes had a sense of disdain within. He laughed. That Nightmare Candle, in terms of comprehension, talent, he's only average. If he didn't have anyone to guide him and let him train by himself, it would be extremely difficult for him to become a sector lord. However, he has a very powerful father, the true absolute genius of the Battle Axe Coliseum, and also the current Battle Axe Coliseum's Yanhua Knight. Yanhua Knight. Luo Feng was stunned. Tru Yen exclaimed, that's a true absolute genius, no weaker than the Kudi I spoke of. A sector lord pinnacle can kill an official level Undying. Once he breaks through, he's an emperor level Undying, and after a few tens of thousands of years, he'll become a universe knight. Luo Feng sighed within. Yanhua Knight only has this one son. It can be said he spent an endless amount of resources and effort. Tru Yen exclaimed, making his only son Nightmare Candle stay at Sector Lord level, making him not rush to break through to Undying, allowing him to stay at Sector Lord level for over 9 million years. Luo Feng was shocked. Before, Long Zhu Emperor said that Nightmare Candle Emperor was a genius, being an official level pinnacle Undying the moment he stepped into Undying. However, now that he heard, he actually stayed at Sector Lord level for over 9 million years. A human Sector Lord's lifespan was only 1,000 years. An extremely terrifying treasure, a treasure that even universe paragons would covet. Yet that paragon Shihua would rather not use it for himself and gave it to his son, said Tru Yen. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Have you seen the mysterious engravings on Nightmare Candle Emperor's forehead? That's the appearance of the treasure after it was refined by him. Tru Yen exclaimed. Luo Feng immediately thought back to when he first met Nightmare Candle Emperor, seeing the engravings on his forehead. Those engravings indeed gave off an ancient and eternal energy. Endless resources and treasures, even universe knights coveted them, were all used on his only son who was only a sector lord back then. Tru Yen exclaimed, just Nightmare Candle Emperor's body was forcefully raised to a perfect state by his father. Hence he was so beautiful, training hard at sector lord level for 9 million years, along with countless treasures. How could he not be strong? Becoming an Undying means reaching the official level pinnacle. That's very normal. Tru Yen shook his head. Even a normal Undying with that treasure can reach the official level pinnacle. Ah. Luo Feng was shocked. That way. That Nightmare Candle Emperor wasn't a genius at all. He simply has an absolute genius, an incredibly powerful father. Tru Yen sneered. As for himself, he's completely spoiled by his father, a petty bastard. He's always been jealous of true geniuses, hence when I rose up back then he fought with me. However, he was ruthlessly trampled on by me. I don't care about anything else. Luo Feng laughed. Fighting with me he keeps losing. And I can't just not retaliate when I'm bullied. Every time we fight he loses, hence we're considered mortal enemies. Tru Yen shook his head. With this person's petty heart, it's not strange for him to find trouble with you. Firstly, you're a genius too. Secondly, he indeed hates me to the bone, yet he can't do anything about me. Hence, he'll naturally take it out on my disciple. Actually, I've already given him face. The few times he embarrassed himself, I didn't publicize it at all, mainly because I didn't want to offend his father. His father is a truly ambitious and ruthless person. After 1,000,000,000 years, his strength is still unfathomable, his position in the Battle-Axe Coliseum is extremely high too. Luo Feng nodded. To become an emperor-level undying in less than 10,000 years, becoming a universe knight in a few 100,000 years, after 1,000,000,000 years, his strength would definitely be even more shocking. No wonder he's so arrogant and tyrannical, no wonder Long Ke Emperor, De Tuar Emperor and the other four with similar backgrounds, always give in to that nightmare candle emperor. Luo Feng thought, it's purely because of his absolute powerful father that he raised him to the level of an emperor-level undying. That father of his really paid a huge price. He doesn't use the treasures himself, giving them all to his son. You'll have to endure this for now. Tru Yen smiled, no matter how strong that Shihua Knight is, he's still from the Battle-Axe Coliseum. If his Battle-Axe Coliseum's people dare to openly bully our Virtual Universe Company's people, our Virtual Universe Company definitely won't lower our heads. This involved the secret battle between the two powers. No matter how unwilling Nightmare Candle Emperor is, he'll have to let you go in the end. Tru Yen said, however you'll have to wait for the upper echelon to speak. Luo Feng understood too, behind Nightmare Candle Emperor was Shihua Knight. His teacher, Tru Yen, was an existence that was closest to the universe supremacy level. Compared to supremacy Shihua, who had cultivated for billions of years, there was still a huge difference in status. For this matter, just his teacher's face was probably not enough. After all, Nightmare Candle Emperor hated Tru Yen to the bone, he wouldn't give him any face. Wu Long Starfield inside a lofty and luxurious palace. Tru Yan's disciple actually dares to make a ruckus in front of me. The handsome Nightmare Candle Emperor's expression was twisted, his eyes filled with hatred. Thinking back to back when he clashed with Tru Yen time and time again, Tru Yen was truly arrogant, he wasn't afraid of anything, he wasn't afraid even if he pierced through the heavens. Even Shihua Knight's only son, he still trampled on him. Nightmare Candle Emperor was pitiful back then. He was trampled very badly, if Tru Yen didn't care about Shihua Knight, he would have killed him back then. Tru Yen. I didn't expect this disciple of yours to be as arrogant as you. With such an arrogant teacher, he'll have such an arrogant disciple. No problem, your disciple is on my watch, even if he escapes this time, there'll be plenty of chances to deal with him in the future. Nightmare Candle Emperor's eyes gleamed coldly. After living for so many years, other than his father who had punished him, there was no one else who had humiliated him as deeply as Tru Yen did. Back then when Nightmare Candle Emperor was trampled on until he went mad, he roared hysterically, shouting to his father, "Kill Tru Yen, kill him, if he doesn't die, I'll die. There's no me, there's no me." However, his father Shihua Knight's reply was, after throwing his son into the prison of the 9-star zone, King Luo Zhu immediately became a lot more obedient after he came back. Although he was still narrow-minded and cruel, he was not as lawless as he used to be. The day Luo Feng was locked up, within a completely black palace emitting a terrifying energy in the virtual universe's Thunder Island. Below the palace, Long Ke Emperor knelt respectfully, his head buried in the ground. Shihua's son has always been finding trouble with Tru Yen. A deep and oppressive voice resounded within the endless palace. At the same time, chi-chi sounds could be heard. However, finding Luo Feng is a bit stupid. Luo Feng is after all one of the 10 confirmed elite seeds in this batch of geniuses. Trying to pin a crime on Luo Feng without any evidence, that would be a joke. Above the palace sat an ugly creature covered in black scales and a pair of black horns. This tall and sturdy scaled creature was sitting on a throne. His right claw was incomparably sharp, and he was casually scratching the armrest of the throne time and time again, making ear-piercing noises. His entire body emitted a formless pressure. It made one's heart palpitate. It made one terrified. His fingers casually swiping at the armrest, the black-scaled life form ordered, "Send the order, release Luo Feng." Yes. Long Ke Emperor knelt, still refusing to raise his head. So, Long Ke immediately vanished from the virtual universe. Wu Long Starfield, Luo Zhu Emperor's majestic palace welcomed a guest. Long Ke Emperor. Tian Wu, what are you doing here? The handsome man, Flame Monarch, was lying on a chair on the edge of the hall on the 9th floor of the palace. Beside him were 2 beautiful girls of the Phantom Spirit clan, who were massaging his shoulders and legs. Sitting on the chair he could see the endless starry sky outside, and even the endless goods that filled the starry sky. Luo Zhu Emperor. Long Ke Emperor walked over saying solemnly, "Orders from above, release Luo Feng." Above, which above? Luo Zhu Emperor raised his head, glancing at him. "My direct subordinate, Demon Knight." Long Ke Emperor said. Luo Zhu Emperor's eyes twitched as he heard this. The universe was vast, every universe country leader and knight's birth was incomparably difficult. Over countless years, universe country leaders and knights were only so few, and even amongst them there were still differences in power. If the leader of Tian Shi Palace was a legend hiding within Tian Shi Palace, not making a move for trillions of years, just the name alone was enough to frighten people. That serene demon knight was a bloody legend. His reputation was completely built from slaughter and slaughter. Even his terrifying body wasn't born with it, but after he created his own technique, his body naturally changed, becoming one that was most suited for slaughter. He was definitely one of the killing gods of the virtual universe company. I understand. Candle Monarch frowned. Dark Candle King. King Long Zhu revealed a smile as he waved his hand. The two illusionary spirit clan girls immediately retreated. The Candlelight King looked at him. King Long Zhu smiled and said, "You and I have worked together for countless years, and I have rarely refused to give you face. However, Candle Emperor, this Luo Feng is after all one of the few absolute geniuses of our virtual universe company that are highly regarded. The loss this time is only 10 million mixed elements. To think such a small loss can bring down an absolute genius, that's impossible." "Thanks." Candle Monarch's eyes lit up. He could hear it. King Long Zhu had already hinted to him that Luo Feng was one of the few geniuses of the virtual universe company, referring to all the geniuses in Yuxiang Mountain. Without a guarantee, it was best not to deal with Luo Feng, or else he would anger the upper echelon of the virtual universe company. "Haha, then I'll leave first." King Long Zhu smiled and left. Candle Emperor personally stood up and sent Long Zhu off. After a while, Candle Emperor returned to the stone chair that was covered in the skin of the nine-meng beast. Lying on the soft skin, Candle Emperor squinted his eyes. "This Long Zhu is quite slick, playing the good guy on both sides." Candle Emperor said softly. The 5 people in charge each represented the 5 great powers. The moment a transaction exceeded 1 million mixed elements, the 5 had to approve it together. After working together for so long, naturally these 5 would form some common understandings. For example, if Candle Emperor was strong, the other 4 would give way. Normally they wouldn't mess with Candle Emperor. Like small transactions. Like dealing with a certain punk. Like dealing with Luo Feng, Long Zhu had his limits too. For example, if Candle Emperor wanted to send Luo Feng to the first Starfield prison, he would definitely not agree. However, as long as it didn't cross the line, he would naturally close one eye. No matter what, his relationship with Luo Feng was still very shallow. As long as Candle Emperor didn't cross the line, he would let Candle Emperor do whatever he wanted. However, the moment it involved a large transaction, no one would be soft. When it involved the faces of the powers behind them, they would rather die than retreat. A small punishment and imprisonment of Luo Feng was a small matter. It was just a small matter. However, if he were to send Luo Feng to the first Starfield prison, that would truly be a loss of face. It's a pity I didn't find any evidence. Candle Emperor's eyes gleamed with ferocity. If I can frame Luo Feng for setting up the trap, killing the leaders and stealing over 10 million mixed element bug corpses, then Luo Feng would be finished, his prized disciple would be finished, that True Yen Emperor would definitely be furious. True Yen Emperor, don't be too happy. Candle Emperor's expression was twisted. "I have plenty of patience. I'll definitely make you suffer, make you die. As long as I can achieve this goal, I'll be willing even if I die." Candle Emperor's eyes were filled with a sickly madness. He had always been smooth sailing with no one daring to mess with him. Under his father's intimidation, even the powerful beings were friendly to him. He had been smooth sailing for over 10 million years. How arrogant was he? Until he met True Yen. That violent and intrepid True Yen. True Yen who didn't lower his head at all. He had suffered the greatest setback. He had come back time and time again, only to be trampled on time and time again, even to the point of collapse, causing him to enter a state of madness. Back then he had hysterically shouted those words to his father. "Kill True Yen, kill him. If he doesn't die, I'll die. There'll be no me, there'll be no me." However, his father, Shi Huiyi, had sent him to the 9th Starfield prison. A nightmare of 1,000 years. 1,000 years in prison, many of the setbacks were even more than what True Yen had given him. It was almost like he had sunk into hell. However, those setbacks made Candle Emperor hate True Yen even more. He felt that everything was brought about by True Yen, the source of everything was True Yen. When he came out of the Starfield prison, he had already become able to endure, but in truth his heart was even crazier. Candle Emperor only had one goal. Let True Yen suffer, kill True Yen. I want True Yen to feel fear, regret and unwillingness because of me. I want to achieve all of this. I'll die willingly. Winnie. Candle Emperor laid on the soft Jiumeng beast skin chair and said softly. A ghostly silhouette appeared. "Master." The ghostly silhouette bowed. "Head to Luo Feng's home. Earth." Candle Emperor ordered. "You don't have to do anything, just place one of my undying crystals on Earth. You can head out now." "Yes, Master." The ghostly silhouette said respectfully. Jade green light enveloped the surroundings, space rippled. A space passage formed and vanished. The ghostly silhouette had used the God Country transfer to leave the Wu Long Starfield. "True Yen, I'm an undying, I have plenty of time, take it slow." Candle Emperor smiled. His smile was absolutely beautiful. Rain Palace. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged within Rain Palace, his consciousness entering his internal world. Within the vast internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng was above the endless ocean. Bug Clan Island condense. Black-clothed Luo Feng pointed at the endless ocean below. Immediately the endless ocean water began to roar, after which it began to crumble and become pure world energy. Within a 100,000 kilometers radius, the ocean water all became endless world energy, after which the world energy began to condense and form mountain rocks. The endless world energy that reverberated in the sky also gushed in. After a while, an island with a diameter of 100,000 kilometers was formed. On it there was soil, grass, hills, valleys and lakes. It was like a normal land world. "Alina, from today onwards you will live here." Black-clothed Luo Feng ordered. In his hand was a world ring. The Queen Alina was placed within from the central continent. She was moved to an island in the endless ocean. Yes, master. The Queen Alina and the Bug Clan Mother Nest landed on the island simultaneously. This is 300 Sector Lord Bug Clan units. According to my estimation, it should be able to create a 3 million Sector Lord army of Tiger Clan warriors. Black-clothed Luo Feng said, simultaneously taking out large amounts of Bug Clan corpses from the world ring. Even in the internal world, Luo Feng couldn't teleport. He couldn't teleport the corpses from the central continent over. He had to use the storage equipment to transport them over. 300 units? The Queen Alina was curious. Each Sector Lord Bug Clan unit has 100,000 Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Clan corpses. Luo Feng explained, beside the large amounts of Bug Clan corpses piled up, a total of 30 million Sector Lord corpses piled up to form a huge corpse mountain. Wow. The Queen Alina's eyes gleamed, her chest rose and fell excitedly. How fast are you nurturing the Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger Clan? Luo Feng asked. I can nurture 10 a day. The Queen Alina said, after all they are Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Clan, every one of them is filled with extremely strong energy, hence their speed is slow. If I were to create some star-level Bug Clan, they would be able to endlessly pour out from the mother nest's holes. 10 a day? More than 3,000 tiger beetles a year. 300 years to nurture a million Sector Lord army? It takes me a long time to train anyway. Luo Feng nodded, then you can begin now. Yes, master. The Queen Alina was obviously filled with excitement and anticipation. The Queen Alina flew into the mother nest, following which the over 800 m tall round-like mountain-like mother nest immediately rose into the air, smashing into the Sector Lord Bug Clan corpse mountain, drilling into it. Nurturing. Black-clothed Luo Feng watched quietly. After 2 hours, that Bug Clan corpse mountain slightly moved, following which a malevolent Bug Clan that was over 10 stories tall crawled out. Its entire body was covered in an incomparably thick carapace, incomparably majestic and barbaric. When this intrepid Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger Clan warrior saw Luo Feng, it immediately leapt and landed on the ground with a rumble, extremely respectful towards Luo Feng. The first Tiger Clan warrior. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with glee. A million Sector Lord army. Luo Feng almost seemed to see an endless amount of Sector Lord Tiger Clan warriors forming an army. His blood couldn't help but boil with excitement and anticipation. As for the Bug Clan corpses used to create the Sector Lord army, they were obtained from the Wu Long Starfield. Regarding this, Luo Feng didn't feel guilty or uneasy at all. At Luo Feng's level of mental state training, he had long been able to see his true self. Seeing through all lies and lies, he wouldn't be easily blinded by them. His heart was like a mirror, seeing through all lies and lies. Seeing his true self. Straight to his true self. Luo Feng was very clear on his true self, ever since he left Earth to roam the universe as the strongest warrior of Earth, especially after seeing how the ancient families were destroyed one by one, some planets being enslaved, even seeing the Golden Horn race become the vassals of humanity. The Golden Horn race felt a sense of inferiority and unwillingness. Luo Feng felt a sense of danger. I have to become stronger. I have to put in all my effort, fight for my roots. If the roots die, how can the leaves live? Back then, Luo Feng was able to fight to the death with the Golden Horn beast. He had long treated Earth as his roots. Maybe he was very strong, surpassing all the humans on Earth. However, his roots were on Earth. If one day Earth was destroyed and all his comrades died, then what was the point of living alone? Luo Feng knew his true self. When he ignited his soul to fight the Golden Horn beast, he already knew. He needed to protect. He needed to protect his home, his roots, Earth. Advance, continue to advance. I need to constantly get stronger. I will put in all my effort. Luo Feng's gaze was like a blade, very determined. On the path of becoming stronger, there would be many situations like the assassination by the Bug Clan before. That flame undying self-destructed and destroyed large amounts of Bug Clan corpses. Under such circumstances, Luo Feng would simply take away 300 Bug Clan corpses. Taking away so many corpses wouldn't affect the entire Wu Long Starfield at all. However, it would be extremely beneficial to his own growth, and he wouldn't harm anyone. Why not? Harming people Luo Feng rarely did. However, if it involved the survival of Earth, even if it was some innocent life forms, Luo Feng would still slaughter them without hesitation. With a clear heart, he would do things without hesitation, direct and decisive. Taking away those corpses was taking away. A massacre was a massacre. So what? Seeing one's true self, one's true self. As long as one's true self was firm, unaffected by external influences, no matter if one became a killing demon or a kind and perfect person or an evil person, only with a clear heart would one be able to walk further and further on the long path of training. However, even with a clear heart, the path of the strong was still filled with danger. Like this time Luo Feng almost died. Pa, pa, pa. There was a knock on the door of Rain Palace. Luo Feng, you can come out. Long K Emperor's voice resounded. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged within Rain Palace, opened his eyes filled with a smile. 3 chapters finished. This 3rd chapter was the one that took the most time in the past month. My God, he had revised it at least 5 times. I believe everyone has some understanding of Luo Feng's true self.